Hey everyone, JCS StarCraft here, bringing you the Go4SC2 number 31 finals. This is Game 5, the ace match between Naama and cHoBo. So action getting started here on Metalopolis. Naama going to be spawning at the 12 o'clock position, and cHoBo going to be spawning as the red Protoss at the 3 o'clock position. So very close, very tiny air distance between the two. You know, a Marine, if he had the guts, could even try to jump onto this building. Take a look at the ads, or maybe try to pull this blimp over and get across, but that'd be pretty neat if they added that into the expansion. No, not really. That'd be kind of weird. Anyways, yeah, that long distance to the Reapers. The Reapers can jump across the the background buildings going on. Anyways, series is tied 2-2. Very great games played by both players, both Naama and cHoBo. Very, very strong StarCraft 2 players. Naama ranked something like 22 in the world. cHoBo a little bit behind because right now the ladders are getting played massively. I mean, the point separation between number 200 and number 100 is just a few hundred points, and everyone above 1,000, which is really crazy. So cHoBo is highly ranked on Gosu Gamers, I think like number 44. So maybe his latter games don't really reflect it, but a very strong player, was a very strong beta player as well, and now going to be scouting out, trying to figure out where his opponent is. Both these players have been playing very strategically, very strong micro and macro players, but kind of trying to psych each other out with different strategies. Naama has shown just a variety of strategies, doesn't just stick to one against his Protoss opponent, but I think after he starts scouting out what his opponent is doing, decides to go one way or the other. And I think cHoBo has largely been reacting. Naama, again, going to be lucking out by getting first scout on. It'd be cool if Blizzard had first scout yelled across the screen. Maybe I'll start doing that as well. First scout! No, that wasn't very good. So just trying to come up with entertaining things in the early game. Looks like a pretty standard build for Naama. 12 racks, 13. Refinery orbital at 15. Perfect timing. Probably can do that with his eyes closed. That would also be a pretty interesting game. Eyes closed from the pros. Or switching your mouse and keyboard hand would be pretty creative. Kind of like the Muslim Damaga game. I think that was the previous Go4SC2. Right now, of course, this was played on a Sunday during the IEM Season 5 Championship in Cologne. So some of the top players, or more popular StarCraft 2 players, were getting their championship gaming on. And a big congratulations to Muro, the alternate unit, who was able to take out a really upset Hydra in the finals. Played Hydra's emotion to his advantage and really just try to use every strategy he could to win the $5,000. So looks like that was canceled in time by cHoBo. cHoBo going to be going with going to be going 2-gate at this point. Interesting strategy for him. Detecting that it looks like he will be pushing hard. Will he be going the 5-gate again? Looks like warp gate is being researched. Let's see if he's going to chrono boost it and get that out as soon as possible. As soon as the chrono is active, maybe a little bit off. So should be interesting to see what he's trying to push out. Meanwhile, Naama getting that 1-1. Is he going to be getting a factory, a starport? He might be getting one, or maybe just going tanks again, as it has served him very well in the last game. So second gateway coming down for more stuff that I don't know. If anyone knows what this pager code means or these number codes means, please tell me, because I'd love to know. And cHoBo not too thrilled. I think they're talking about the possibly their observers, telling them to get out because there is lag coming down across the field, and maybe not very happy with some things going on. So what is going on? I get it. Naama just so he was about to get a fast expand, went into his opponent's base, saw the 2-gate go down, and is like, holy crap, my opponent's going to push in pretty soon. Although cHoBo is getting his expansion, so Naama going to be switching gears a little bit and trying to bulk up his army. Looking at the army tab, it's not that bad. I think Naama, was he able to scout out that? Yes, he did see the expansion go down, but 2-gate, of course, always very scary from your opponent, as they could have been pumping out units the entire time while you were busy getting your expansion on. So Naama switches his play, and now just going to be one-basing it for a little bit. This might mean that he's going to push out a little bit earlier, or he might have actually possibly saw the 2-gate and then the Nexus. Of course, I'm not entirely sure what Naama was thinking, but we'll see whether or not stopping his fast expand and switching to a one base play will take this. This, of course, is the ace match, Game 5, so whoever wins this will win this next Go Cup. The Go Cups happen twice a week, once on Sundays, once on Wednesdays, and each one, I think, a field of something like 512, or the last Go Cup had 1,024 players. So this is definitely about 7, 8, or 9 games into their Sunday. Both players probably a little bit tired by now, or not. I mean, after all, when you're playing StarCraft 2, you can play pretty much forever, and most casual players can play for 8 hours and not get tired either. So, but while it looks like Naama going to be pushing in at this point, knows that he's going to be behind economically, and just bringing a whole bunch of SCVs to kind of take the fire away from the units. They absorb a lot of the shots. They are faster, and when they are in the front, they do seem to aggro most of the shots. Naama trying to determine whether or not he can win this match at this point. He does have siege for his tanks. The SCVs, since cHoBo retreated, they're just going to be throwing down bunkers anyways. And here comes the SCVs just trying to absorb as much damage as possible. Multiple bunkers going down. cHoBo really needs to engage at this point. He should not let these bunkers go down. It's going to be really dangerous with the tanks behind it as well. But because those tanks are already sieged, just has to watch as his opponent is doing it. Maybe going to try to run around to the backside, but not going to be looking good for cHoBo at this point. Great strategy from Naama. Saw his opponent maybe was, I think it was the expansion that he saw, decides to one base and pretty much just go all in at this point and just push ahead. Tanks are sieged, and while cHoBo going to be running all the way around the backside, we might be seeing a base trade right now. And Naama, now that the SCVs have accomplished and haven't had to die, they are so happy going back home to just mine. Expansion going to be going down for cHoBo. cHoBo now trying to pump out as many immortals as possible. Is he supply blocked? Oh yes, he is, because that pylon did go down. Here comes the base trade for cHoBo. cHoBo going to be pushing in on the backside. Who is going to win this? I have no idea. I think that Naama should be able to lift off, and as long as he can run, every SCV trying to get out, they're going to be blocked at the ramp. So both players base trading right now, and this is going to get very interesting. I'm not entirely sure who can take this right now. I think, yeah, Naama will be able to lift everything off. Everything goes into the air, and he's just going to take over the base. This really is a base trade. cHoBo, unfortunately, unable to lift off his buildings because he is Protoss, and they do warp in. So Naama going to be reestablishing. I think he's going to lose all his SCVs, so he won't be able to build another base. But none of these, they're just being escorted out as best as they can, trying to get his probes out, but cHoBo won't be able to get them out, and really just has to try to defend his base. I think he should be pulling out of this base and trying to make some sort of attack, clustering everything into the corner. Naama, of course, unable to reinforce his units, is behind actually. Well, he did lose all his SCVs, so army size, I think, about even. 4 tanks and 17 marines versus only 1 immortal for cHoBo. He does have the 15, and here come the stream of units coming back. Will it be enough? The attack from behind. Naama going to be choking off. He's using his buildings to choke off his tanks. I think this is going to be game. Very, very smart play by Naama. And will have his the orbital command is getting hit, but unfortunately, I think Naama could have actually loaded up some SCVs in here to protect them, but I think in the flurry of things going on, was trying to run them away as soon as possible. So making a hold right now with his tanks, using his marines to get in there. He does have some income. I think he really wants to land here and take over cHoBo's base. cHoBo right now trying to push in from behind, trying to poke at the units, knows that there are tanks there, and his army is divided at this point. Actually going to land it and try to mine cHoBo's base. Was there any? Oh, he was able to run these SCVs out, and is going to be building a base. So this is going to be game for Naama, but right now cHoBo doesn't really know that, and just trying to figure out how the heck he can get in there. He does not have anything left. He won't be able to build another Nexus. So unfortunately, cHoBo, thinking that maybe there is only one base going on, landing it just to fire out the mules. I think I don't know why. Oh, it's going to try to repair. Yeah, it looks like they're going to use the mules to repair everything going down. Very smart move from Naama. Those are free mules, so he can get the free repairs in, and slowly going to start pushing in. Doesn't want to give up on both sides, but I think that now that he has this base established here, going to be slow to recover, but going to be pushing in the front. Really wants to try to take out these units. cHoBo thinking that he has a potential if he can just take everything out. He does have an army to fight against, but going to be really dangerous to move in against these tanks. This is a very, very strange matchup between the two players, opting for that base trade, but I had to say very well played from Naama using his structures to choke off. That was a very smart move on his behalf. And now it has to kind of try to hold off this two-front battle with his buildings and his command center. But I think once this starts mining, and I think once cHoBo starts seeing that these are active and units are going to start streaming out, he probably is going to GG at that point, because he's going to realize that his opponent does have a base somewhere else on the... cHoBo not sure what to do at this point. He thinks the game is set, but it isn't, because there is this base right here. I think he just has to have one unit. Naama just has to start pumping out a handful of units, landing it strictly to mule. I mean, like, that's funny. I think that's hilarious. cHoBo, meanwhile, just did not know that the other thing is going on. Thinks that this game might last forever. I think cHoBo, at this point thinking, this is a stalemate in chess. This is going to go on for all of eternity. But now notices that Naama is pumping out units and that he is mining somewhere else. I think cHoBo will have to call game at this point, realizing that his opponent has minerals coming in. And, you know, like, that's not going to be good for him at all, because he can just reinforce his units as everything's going on right now. Still has the supply depots as well. cHoBo now realizing, hey, wait a minute, why are the racks? How does he have any money? Why wasn't he pumping out before? Going to be exploring with this zealot at this base. Naama might want to consider getting like a racks here or something like that, so that he can... And cHoBo now exploring where the heck is his income coming from. So a stalemate, a temporary stalemate, as the Terran Naama is kind of choked off from both sides. A menacing probe army right here. cHoBo, of course, unable to build anything unless Naama is going to throw him some money, which you can't actually do. In StarCraft 2, you can't give your opponent money. That would be very gracious of Naama to do. But now that Naama is just going to be pumping out more units, evening things out on both sides, cHoBo, unfortunately, will probably have to push in, or is just going to GG at some point. I think he realizes that he can't win it, but wants to make sure that his eyes aren't deceiving him, running a few units away, trying to figure out where the heck that other command center is. And even if he is able to get that zealot in here, this can, you know, he could easily try to just lift this off and move somewhere else. Naama at this point feels that he has enough units to push in. It's just going to destroy this small army right here. cHoBo, I think, was trying to focus on something else, trying to take out everything, choked off with the buildings. So everything going to go down on this side for Naama, but he has enough to really hold his ground. And looking at cHoBo only has these 23 units. Is he going to be able to take that out, take out the factory? Even if he does, it's not going to be enough to stop this force from coming in. So, is a repair mule going to go down? No, it's going to lift off into the air and go that way. But unfortunately, cHoBo fighting till the bitter end, doesn't want to give up. I think it's 200 pounds in the game, and there has been a GG declared. Tyro even left early because he saw that coming a long time ago. But great standstill from both players. A really fun base trade. And congrats to Naama for winning the Go4SC2 number 31. Great job for him. This has been JCS StarCraft.